Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another Total War Arena news update. This time around, we have patch notes for the next test. I haven't read them before, so well, let's just get straight into it, and I will share my thoughts on them, and probably help with understanding them. Let's go. New tips. New game tips have been added to the matching interface to provide players with some new model core rules of teaching. These tips will briefly introduce the basic functions, but will not go into the details of each mechanism. Yeah, so you know the tips, the hints and tips that you get at while you're looking for a battle in matchmaking. They also pop in the middle of the screen and are related to the unit type or the commander you're playing, or rather, and the commander you're playing, as well as some overall tips. So, well, now we are getting two new tips that will explain how the new game mode works. So essentially, I guess this is capture points, and this is healing zones or respawn zones or whatever. So yeah, that's not really gameplay related, and that's everything. Let's go. PvE adjustment. Through the feedback of the players in the last round of testing and our own experience, when the unit level used is low, it is difficult to fight against AI. Level is tier. This is not conducive to the player's learning of the new model and early game experience. Therefore, the difficulty of combating AI when using 1 to 3 level units is reduced. Yeah, so this is something that they addressed in their dev blog. I have a video on their dev blog that the link to is right now in the top right corner of your video player. And they talk there about how AI was actually too challenging for new players. And I agree, that is what I noticed as well. It has been challenging even to me. Like, AI has just straight up been doing well. They're making correct decisions in not all of the situations, and they had some like really stupid times, but in some other circumstances, they were performing really well. And I can see AI easily outplaying like a total newbie player that, well, are actually expected on tiers 1, 2, 3, so it is only natural actually to have something like that. So yeah, great change. No specifics though, so can't really tell how far it goes and if it is good enough of a change, but definitely a step in the right direction. Game mode balance adjustment. Unit rebirth, well, respawn. Respawn time. The unit respawn. So here you can translate it correctly. The unit respawn time is increased by 10 seconds according to the level in the game. If all units are killed and the levels of the 3 units are inconsistent, they will be regenerated according to the longest time. Okay, so again, this is something that we provided a lot of feedback, and pretty much every single person I talked to about it agreed with me that the respawn times are way too short. I don't know if 10 seconds is enough. Maybe it should be longer. But yeah, I like the approach that they take. Just increase by 10 seconds. It is a change big enough to be noticeable. And we will see if it is enough or it should be maybe even further increased. So I definitely like this change, and shows well they're listening to feedback. And now we know for sure on what it is actually based on, and it is based on the unit level rather than time in battle as I previously thought. I just basically thought that the later it is in battle, the longer the respawn gets, like for example in League of Legends, but it is actually based on your unit ranks, which also makes a lot of sense because, well, if you are behind in XP, your respawn timer is shorter, so you can catch up faster. So yeah, definitely makes sense. And well, I was close enough because as you progress through the game, the later it gets, the more XP your units get, and also the respawn time gets longer. So I wasn't that far from having the correct conclusion. I just didn't die enough. I died like literally 1 or 2 times during the entire test. Well, I don't remember, but yeah, I didn't die too many times. So haven't had the material to get the conclusion from. Okay, second, the map adjustment. Augustus Road, Passage of Augustus, readjusted the location of supply points and strongholds. Well, strongholds capture points. In the previous version, Stronghold A was more beneficial to camps born on the south side of the map, so the location of point A was adjusted. Oh, it was adjusted. What a fucking comma, not comma, dot at the end. The supply point attached to point A is adjusted accordingly to adapt to the change of point A. The supply point attached to base D moves towards the center of the map, still hidden in the grass. Increase the importance of Stronghold D so that when countering from the central area of the map, having Stronghold D will have certain advantages. Oh, that actually makes me wonder what kind of map pool we will get, because last test we had 5 maps, I believe. Capitoline Hill, Thermopylae, Alpes Graia, Passage of Augustus, and Salernum. Yeah, 5 maps. I don't believe we had any more. So I wonder if we're gonna have extended map pool, like if they will, give us back Germania. I mean, Germania was a tier 8 to 10 map, so we couldn't play it because, well, there were no tier 8 units in the game. So yeah, we'll probably see Germania and maybe some other maps. We will see. We will see. Continuing on. Well, we have the picture. So A point has moved from here to here, and the supply point that is correlated to A moved from here to here, and as well from here to here. If the red team captures A, this is their supply point. And the same here for the other side. If the blue team captures D point, their supply point, respawn point, healing point, whatever you want to call it, was moved from here to here. Not a significant change. But anyway, a little bit of a feedback about the Passage of Augustus map. Let me know, guys, if you agree with me. But yeah, essentially, I think that the Passage of Augustus map is too asymmetric, and that issue has been there before. But now with the new capture points mode, or territory mode, I think they call it officially now in the dev block, even emphasizes that issue even more. So, you know how respawn points for the red team on this side are closer to Watchtower, but there is fewer of them. I think there are only 3 respawn points, and the remaining 8 respawn points are quite far away. While the red team has more spawning points on this side, like 5, I believe, while the travel distance to the Watchtower is longer. It is like symmetric for the enemy team, right? So they have 5 spawning points in here, but the distance is further to Watchtower, and they have only 3 spawning points here, and the distance is shorter. And that already causes some issues, because yeah, okay, each side has a stronger and a weaker flank, and it is kind of balanced by this side having a better access to the Watchtower and vice versa. But it is still an advantage to the team that has more spawning points, from my experience. And well, my experience is quite large. I played this map a lot, both on tournaments, well, maybe not tournaments itself, but I commented the battles of those tournaments, and I played a lot of trainings in competitive settings. So yeah, I have a lot of experience with that. And essentially, yes, this side has an advantage and will most of the time win the fight for the Watchtower. Same case here. The team with more spawning points will get the Watchtower in most cases, obviously. And if they win the side, then they have advantage that they can press from there. And also remember the spawning point. Now, when you actually die and can respawn, that nivelates the balancing factor that they tried to introduce through, a variation in the spawning locations at the beginning of the battle. So nothing stops the blue team to just keep spawning on this side, the stronger side, and keep spawning in there and increasing their advantage. Or the other way around, the red team can also keep spawning in here, and there's maybe like a closer spawning point to the Watchtower as well, which also introduces an imbalance. And it goes all over the place because the map is asymmetric. Essentially, this side, the south side, is much better and provides better advantage because it is closer to the bases. So if you want to control the enemy base or defend your own base, it is much better to have an advantage on this side rather than have an advantage on this side. And now with the addition of capping points, you have the C point here, which even further favorizes this, the south side. So either entirely rework the map to make it actually symmetric, not just pseudo-symmetric, or maybe move the C point as a temporary fix to this side of the wall, or the city fort or whatever, because this side is just way too strong. And if you move the C point up here somewhere, I mean, this is a place and there's just not really a place for that point on this map, but that's because the map is bad. And yeah, now this side not only has access to bases, it also has access to a C point. So whoever wins on this side has privileged access to the C side. And at the beginning of the battle, well, the blue team will have an advantage here because of more spawning points. Yeah. As far as maps go, a lot of maps in Total War Arena face similar problems and definitely need some reworking. The biggest gripes I have with are obviously Turtle Book Forest, terrible map. And I made a video on Turtle Book Forest and how terribly designed that map is in the past, as well as Marathon. That map is also quite terrible. There are also other maps that have their issues. Some of those issues are actually fixed by the new game mode, as in, well, the places that you would camp and make yourself pretty much invincible and easy peasy win, now it's just not valid because those places are around your base and you just get captured. I guess also it kind of fixes Turtle Book Forest, but still not really. Yeah, but Marathon just needs a huge rework. Well, anyway, we'll probably make a podcast at some point, and you can provide feedback, your own feedback about the maps in that podcast, or well, in this in comments for this video as well, I guess. It is actually a very good place to provide feedback because maybe developers will watch my thoughts on the patch notes to get some feedback on the patch notes, and well, they can find your feedback in the comments. So I'll encourage you to do that. Well, let's continue on. Unit balance adjustment. Let's see. I haven't read that before, so it will be a surprise. What? Remote unit. All remote units in office. What? Experience gain magnification increase. What? Yeah, the only thing that comes into my mind, what it could possibly be, but I may be very off the mark, is global experience gain. So your units also get some of the XP that your team gets. So essentially someone kills a unit, he gets the XP for killing that unit, but a part of that experience is converted into global experience that goes into every single unit on the team, or rather every single alive unit on the team. So I assume is this, and now you're getting a slightly bigger percentage of this. And it's a really shitty translation, so I'm not willing to dive much deeper into it. That's what I think it is. I may be very well wrong, but it doesn't seem like a significant change either way. So whatever. War Elephant Unit. There are too few units that can restrain the War Elephant. Congratulations for realizing that. So we adjusted the attributes of some units to enhance their combat power when facing the War Elephant. The War Elephant's damage when attacking the War Elephant is so high that the unit loses too quickly, so reduce the damage of the attack between the War Elephants. That is a great change, and I will tell you why. One of my design philosophies that I agree with is that the unit shouldn't be the best counter to itself. So an elephant shouldn't be the best counter to an elephant. A ranged unit shouldn't be the best counter to a ranged unit, and a heavy artillery shouldn't be the best counter to heavy artillery. You get the point. And unfortunately, it very often is the case in Arena. You can obviously say that, oh well, cavalry counters archers much better than archers counter archers, but then again, usually archers have some kind of protection from cavalry in form of allied infantry, and cavalry very often just cannot get through to the archers. And like the most reliable way of getting rid of enemy archers is, well, just bring your own archers or slingers. But archers I just use our replacement for ranged units. If we want to get rid of enemy ranged units, just bring your own ranged units rather than spam cavalry. It is, way more reliable. So a way to counter that, or to improve that situation, would be to reintroduce loose formation for ranged units. If ranged units are in loose formation, they will suffer less damage while fighting each other, while their damage suffered from things like cavalry and infantry, and their damage dealt to those units will remain pretty much the same. And it will heavily affect the ranged exchanges, as in the ranged units will kill each other slower, and they won't be as good of a counter to each other. Same goes for elephants, and same goes for heavy artillery, and probably some other units that I cannot remember, like off the top of my head. But anyway, well, let's not prolong it. It's a step in a good direction, definitely. I would just wish that they, actually looked deeper into such a problem in Arena overall, rather than just at War Elephants. But yes, War Elephants are one of the strongest units in the current game mode, so it is definitely good that they're looking at them and they're already applying some changes. Continuing on, the base damage modification adjusted by War Elephant to War Elephant is from 44 times to 30 times, so down by 33%. So yeah, if you don't know what it means that elephants will kill each other slower, and they will actually, need to rely maybe on some other source of damage from their team, like javelins, who are supposed to be counter to elephants, but really aren't. So increase the damage value of all spear holding infantry against the elephant. Great. As it should be, and maybe 1 to 2.5 is not good enough, but we'll see. Obviously they can test it on their own studio, right? Okay, increase by 1.25, see how it goes. Okay, maybe let's go 1.5. Oh, no, it's too much. Okay, go back to 1.25. You know the drill. We don't have such a luxury, so we'll just have to see. Continuing on, heavy. Ooh, that's something for me. Based on your feedback, on heavy artillery, we made some adjustment to the unit. Catapult, heavy catapult, catapult, heavy catapult. Vitruvius catapult, unlock level +3. So the heavy artillery now starts from tier 6 instead of tier 3. Okay. Change the position of the light artillery and heavy artillery lines in the technology tree. Unlock light artillery, and light artillery unlocks heavy artillery. As it should be, really, and it was the other way around previously. I was like, oh fuck, I have to play heavy artillery too in order to unlock light artillery. Or I'll just use free XP, I guess. Now it just makes more sense. Okay, after adjusting the unlock level of the unit type, it can be matched to rivals on the battlefield. Yeah, sure. I mean, this is so fucking obvious that it's just so redundant to say that. Due to this, I mean, because what they say is like we took tier 3 to tier 7 artillery and put it up 3 tiers, and now they're saying, well, we adjusted their statistics so they have an actual statistics of tier 6 to tier 10 units, but what they probably essentially did is just cut out the first tier 3 to tier 5 artillery and just rename the other units, so they didn't even have to, but apparently that's what they did. So anyway, stupid and redundant, nothing really changed. Due to the special nature of the artillery unit type, for all players on the battlefield, increasing the level can bring a better game experience. Oh. So they're basically saying that they don't want to piss off new players with heavy artillery, they just want to piss off the older players with it. Okay. As in the people on tiers 1 to 3 will have no idea how to do with heavy artillery, I guess. If the unit type has been unlocked in the last round of testing, the unlocked ballista will not be available immediately. I mean, yeah, sure. Oh, the ballistas. No, makes sense. That was stupid. Yeah, that is because of the tier 3 change. 2. Okay. Increase the skill of heavy artillery units. Stay. Are you fucking kidding me? You buffed stakes even more. They're already one of the most broken things in the game. And they receive yet another buff. What the fuck? Holy shit. Continuing on. Stakes are buffed. This will improve. They're buffing heavy artillery. What the fuck? This will improve the unit's self-insurance ability and stronghold defense ability. And stronghold, make no mistake, stronghold in their language is capture point. So, holy shit, no. I mean, wait until the test. It is less than a week away now. And I have something special for you guys planned since like a month ago, essentially since the last test. I have come up with that idea and I'm going through with it. Holy shit. This will be amazing. Please look forward to it. To make it a little bit clear, but still keep it as a surprise, I guess. I'm talking about my challenge. That challenge will definitely be interesting, very interesting. But I'll not reveal what the challenge will be. We'll reveal it later. Or just, well, follow me on Twitch and find out for yourself. Because it will be streamed live and only much later put on YouTube. Continuing on. The effect of Sula's long... Oh, wait, I skipped one. When using consumable Xinyan. Okay. The long-range weapon penalty for the local area has been reduced by 28%. Okay. So I think it is probably burning coal and their splash damage was reduced by 28%. Such nerf. Wow. Such nerf. Or maybe it is accurate smoke. And well, because accurate smoke actually decreases the range of your artillery. So maybe that's what it refers to here, the long range weapon range penalty. Right, range penalty. And the local area has been reduced by 28%. It lowers your vision range and morale. So maybe that has been reduced by 28%. Maybe the damage by 28%? I don't know. I mean, the translation is so bad that it's really difficult to tell what it is, but it doesn't sound like a significant change. It's a change to a consumable, so like, who gives a fuck? And the effect of Sula's long whip skill, long whip, deployable item build time has been reduced from 26% to 50%. So Sula, instead of whipping out a stake line in 2 seconds, will be able to whip it out in 3 seconds. Wow. Not a big deal. Problem fix battle. So we are getting to bug fixes. So probably it's the end of patch notes. Well, let's just go quickly through it because those are most likely insignificant. The value 1000, the battle result is modified to display in 1K. So fucking insignificant. Fix the problem that long numbers are displayed on multiple lines. Insignificant. Fix the problem that sometimes crashes when opening the settings page. Sure. Fix the problem of automatically cancelling the selected respawn point with a certain probability. I thought it was just lag when you click 2 times and 2 clicks just go through and, you know, just click and unclick. So, okay. Maybe they did something to counteract that. Fix an issue where the enemy unit types were displayed inconsistently on the enemy information panel on the right side of the battle interface, and the scoreboard called by the tab key. Okay, well, sure. Haven't seen that, but okay. Fix the problem of calculating the combat score of infantry armed with spears. So I wonder if this is like the actual battle performance, as in maybe their damage wasn't calculated correctly, or maybe what was displaying when it's calculating the combat score. Maybe it's the points that you get and that tell you how well you performed. Whatever it was, it is now fixed. Apparently, I mean, we had consumables will now restock properly in patch notes like 7 times, and they still didn't restock properly. So yeah, don't believe everything you read in patch notes, especially in bug fixes. Fix an issue where the morale gain benefit effect would be covered by the same effect with a lower value. Okay, so actually morale is an interesting thing because they had something like that. I mean, they still have something like that, I assume. I haven't really tested that. So for example, you have a war cry and fear. War cry, let's say, is minus 25 morale, and fear, let's say, is minus 40 morale. And if you put both fear and war cry on a unit at the same time, it won't decrease its morale by 65%. It will decrease it just by 40, which is whatever is the highest debuff. So war cry will just not be there, and well, only fear morale penalty will apply. Oh, so yeah, and I think like that was a bug that became a feature in Arena's case. I'm not 100% sure on that. I remember there was a heated debate in the community within the Praetorians and between Praetorians and developers themselves. And I don't remember the exact details of that conversation and the conclusion from it. But, well, the conclusion is that what is in the game, right? But the conclusion would be that it is wrong and they have to fix it. They just don't know how. But yeah, whatever the case is, this is how it works in the game, and maybe they'll change it, maybe they'll leave it as it is. So they just did the same, but with the positive bonuses, moral buffs. Okay. Fix the problem that the text of the prompt box button is missing when the network is disconnected during the battle. Sure. Fix the problem that the adjustment score screen preset does not take effect. Sure, whatever. Second, the lobby, also known as like, oh yeah, fixes in battle and fixes in the lobby. In the list of squad equipable consumables, expand the pop-up trigger range of the property panel. Fix the problem that the Chinese nickname can be used to find friends. I mean, for us, we don't really care because we kind of input Chinese characters in there anyway, at least not from our keyboard. Fix the display inconsistency of the equipment panel. Technically, you can, but whatever. Fix the after adding friends, the friends list will refresh automatically. That is nice. That is nice. Achievement list is sorted in Chinese pinning order. Who cares? Optimize the vertical distribution of some Chinese characters on the scoreboard. Fix the problem that the voice menu is blocked by text when there are multiple players in the chat room. Nice, I guess, but well, no one really cares. Fix the text showing the receive button after the completion of daily task. Optimize commander skill description. If you confuse people less, that's good. But I wonder if it's probably just the Chinese translation, because I haven't noticed really any problems with the English descriptions. Although there was an issue with the Defiance ability, where it was like, what the hell is a damage barrier? But well, then we played and then we knew what a damage barrier is. But it could be definitely explained better, because you are supposed to know such a thing from just the description instead of, what the hell is a damage barrier? How does it work? How did it change compared to the previous iteration of this ability? So yeah, the description definitely should be clearer than what it was, because just throwing a damage barrier and assuming that we'll figure out what a damage barrier is and how it works exactly, because there are multiple types of barriers in games, so you know, people can have different conclusions. Continuing on, optimize the display when the currency reaches 1 million. Sure. Fix the problem of missing Chinese text in custom battle. And that is the end of the patch notes. Let me know in the comments what you think about them. I got excited about heavy artillery changes only to be hit by an actual buff. I wonder how their buffing stays, because they just said that they're increasing the skill. What the fuck does that mean? Do they get additional charge? Do they get 3 instead of 2? Do the stakes deal more damage? They're more durable? All of that? I don't know. They didn't specify, which is kind of a bad practice in terms of patch notes. Patch notes are there to specify things. Come on! Well, whatever. We will see once we get the test. So, with that, I'll see you guys on Arena's Battlefields.